So
Okay.
that's why we're fully agnostic. Now, as far as the cost, and I'll come back to a couple of these slides here. As far as the cost goes, we're looking at, with the cloud-based, a monthly subscription per device. So you see,
Okay.
so that's what you would be looking at. If we go server-based, then you're talking about the server software that you can load on a VM or your own hardware,
Right.
and a license per device. But that's all going to be a perpetual license, a one-time license.
Okay.
So that's what we're looking at. So for the cloud-based, you're right around $25 a month per device. For the server software, you're at $3,500, and each license for the player is $450.
Okay.
So that's roughly where we're at. So I mean, you're either at $200 a month, or you're at, let's see here, you're right around $7,000 for the on-prem.
Okay.
So that's kind of where it ends up. Now, as far as the feature sets, your feature sets are going to be the same, no matter
Right.
what.
Pretty much, it's just a matter of how the user interface is set up for everybody, right? I mean, they're pretty much going to have the same kind of features because it is digital signage, and digital signage is what it is, right?
Well, I mean, every system does it differently.
Right.
In feature sets, you have some systems that have more, some systems that will have a lot of feature sets but charge you extra. We're the company that has a lot of feature sets, but we are just a one-in price. Right?
Okay.
So we use different types of technology. HTML, WebSockets, Ruby on Rails, your database, MySQL or MSSQL, and combining all that together, we call it LiveLink, and that allows us to run on pretty much anything. The way that our system allows you to do things is you're able to distribute content directly to each device, or you can do it in what we call a campaign to multiple devices. But furthermore, you can go ahead and send content specifically to each zone. So you're already kind of familiar with that type of content aggregation.
Yep.
Now, we also give you the ability to create content based on triggering. So don't know if that's something that you already have played with.
No, Ucview does have features to do schedules, but we've never really done that yet, so...
Yeah, so we give you the ability to not only schedule content, to play in the loop, but with what we call event-based campaigns or event-based content.
Okay.
What that'll do is if you have content that you want to have it set up as event-based, it will come up on the screen, but that'll be the only thing that stays on there.
Okay.
If it's like a piece of content that you trigger or a whole playlist. So we introduced it because we do work with entertainment complexes like football and basketball stadiums and such.
Okay.
So like when they have a touchdown or halftime, or somebody scores a 3-pointer, things of that, they trigger these pieces of content.
Yep.
So that's why we do that. But we also have scheduling and day parting. So if you wanted to have content show up in the morning versus the afternoon, or only Monday, Friday, we can do.
Okay.
Now, we also have the ability to do video walls. So don't know if that's something that you're interested in right now or maybe in the future, but the system...
that would be something in the future for them. So yeah, they're just they're growing, but they're only one store right now, and we really don't have video walls or anything yet. So
perfect. Now the thing is that the system does come with it already included. So that way it's everything that you see here you'll be able to do.
Okay.
Even syncing playlists, perfectly as well, as long as they have the same content. Then we also have the ability to create different departments and users. So you can have different departments that have specific access to certain screens or even a section of the screen.
Okay.
So you have that type of granular control, and we also work with Active Directory. So if they had some type of LDAP or SSO, they'd be able to go ahead and do it.
Okay.
So, without going too far into the, this PowerPoint here, I think it's best if we just kind of dig into the interface.
Okay, sounds good.
So, being that you're kind of familiar with, what digital signage is already, this is what it looks like when you log into ours. You're going to see a dashboard. Now it's going to give you things like how many players are online, what the storage status is, account details and such. On the left-hand side, you have all of your tools. So everything from content creation and scheduling to management, analysis, and support.
Okay.
So the first thing I always tell my customers to do is to create the look and feel of the screen. So that goes to layout designs. And you would click on create a layout. I'll go to one that I've already created here, but it'll show you the same form. It's going to ask you to name it. You select the resolution that you want to use. Now, we allow you to choose from all of the popular resolutions that you see here.
Okay.
Although you can go ahead and do a custom resolution if you needed to. No, we have customers that do that if they have like LED billboards and such.
Right.
And then, here's multi-screen. Again, if you were going to do a video or such, we'll leave it checked off for now. And then you're able to bring in a background image. So you see here, I brought in a background image, which was a Photoshop file, saved it as a PDF, a PNG. Yeah, brought it in. And, all it is was a file. And then after that, you're able to go ahead and add your different sections, which you can resize and position by drag and drop. So it makes it very easy to design that look and feel of the screen
right.
with minimal effort.
Okay, so that's nice.
That's how that is, and then from there you can add whatever type of content you want down the road
right.
when we get to that. Any questions on the look and feel of the screen?
Nope.
Perfect. So next step would be to create the physical location with those devices. So I know you said it's just one location right now, and it has 8 screens inside of it.
Yep.
So we would click on create a location. It'll ask you to name it, set up the hours and days of operation if you wanted to. And what that'll do is it'll have the system turn on and off based on that schedule.
Okay.
If you leave it at 24/7, well, then of course self-explanatory. Now, once you have the physical location set up, for example, I'll go here to access. Now you see that I have things like main access, main entrance, access, I have lobby, and I have a test. So
yep.
this is where you would add your actual devices, your players. So you would name it. I like naming them based on where they are in the establishment. Then you would type in the password. So what kind of devices do you guys currently have now?
So running the so the players that I'm using is basically it's just an Android box with a player software on it for the Ucview.
Perfect. So you can even that's your own hardware that you own, and you don't have to get back to it.
Right.
All you need to do is download our APK.
Oh, okay.
And load it onto that Android device, and you'll be good to go.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so it saves you a ton of time and money that way. And when you load up our software, you run it for the first time, it's going to give you a password, and it'll look like this. I have a PowerPoint slide that'll show that. Just don't. I'm not a big PowerPoint guy. I don't like going through a whole spiel with this.
I'm the same way. Don't worry about it.
So, when you turn it on with the software, it's going to give you this password page that you see right over here. And you can either register it right from the interface like I have, right here. You type in that five-digit alphanumeric password.
Okay.
Or if you're tied into the same network or if you're on the cloud, you can just scan the QR code and it'll do the same thing on your phone.
Oh, okay.
It just makes it intuitive for whoever's installing it.
Right.
And then after that, you select the look and feel you want to use, and you save it.
Nice. Okay. That's pretty simple.
Yeah, so we like to keep everything extremely simple. You know,
Right.
you have some users that are going to be power users, and then you have some users that are going to say, okay, I just know how to send an email.
Right.
So you want to be able to serve both of those customers.
Yep.
You know, so that's what separates us now that we get into the content. So when we get into content, and I like using campaigns, the reason why is because for those types of users, you can say, all right, well, we're going to create a campaign. We're going to name it, HR announcements. And when you do that, so I'll walk you through this. We'll say HR announcements here. And of course, I can't spell today. Once we go ahead and say, this is the name, now we select where we want it to go. So it'll give me the list of the different devices. So now I'll go ahead and say, because I have barrel schools, that one has a lot more devices. So because I'm in HR and, I only have access to specific devices, they're only going to be these 2 back office and these lunchroom boards. So when I save that, from now on, every time I add content to HR announcements, it knows that it's going to go just to those devices and those devices alone.
Oh, okay, that's nice.
So, when that person logs in, and I'll show you how you create a different user. They click on add new content, shows them what the look and feel of the screen will be, and they can add it. Now, as far as content, we can bring in any type of file-based. So whether it's an image, video, audio file, you can point to a web page. Then we have tons of different applications that you can choose from as well. So you see here, we have a live TV, news, weather, text message. Microsite is essentially like a HTML module. So you can bring in a full project, and I'll show you what that looks like. It's pretty neat. And then our app store. Now we call it a store just for reference. Everybody's used to an app store on their phone.
Right.
But all of the apps are free.
Okay.
So we have everything from like social media to news, informational, live streaming, all that good stuff.
Okay.
But let's say we wanted to bring in just some files. All you do is choose files. I'll go to the downloads folder here with some pictures. Go ahead and grab that one, that one, that one, that one. And that's all you have to do.
That's pretty easy.
Yeah, it'll give you a preview of what the content looks like, tells you what section it's going to. Now, keep in mind, if you have a department where you say you only have access to the side banner, they won't be able to do a drop down and, select where they want it to go.
Right.
Only allow them to do it just where you provision it to.
Okay.
And then you can also change the duration of each piece of content. So that's what's really cool. Now, if we add a video file, like let's say, for example, I'll go down here and have a smaller file here. So if I go in and say, all right, well, let's add this video file here. While it does that, it analyzes it. So it'll default, after you save, it'll default the duration to the length of the video. And then here, I can preview it. Now I'm going to mute it, of course. But it's already giving you a preview of what that's going to look like.
Okay.
So I can bring in all these files all at the same time and say, all right, that's where I want them to go. I'll save it. Now, it's going to give me a little list of all the content that I've added. And you'll see that this video will change from 30 seconds to 1 minute and 10 seconds.
Okay, that's nice, yeah.
So the end user doesn't have to think.
Right. They don't have to remember to change it to the length of the video.
Exactly. And kind of how they're used to with, whether it's an email app or whatever.
Right.
What are you doing? Where are you sending it to? And now send it.
Right.
So it's a 1, 2, 3, you're done. Now, I know we touched on a little bit with the scheduling, right?
Yep.
here, if I select this checkbox here, let's say for these two, and I click on the calendar, I can do date ranges. So I can say, all right, we'll start it on the 26th, end it on the 30th. And then I can say, all right, we'll run it every day there, but I only want to run it in the morning. So we'll say from 6 a.m. to right around 10 a.m. So now those two pieces of content will automatically come into the schedule and remove themselves from the schedule based on those parameters.
That's awesome.
So again, you don't have to think. You just upload the content. You say, this is when I want it to be removed. And then that date comes, you're already busy, you forgot to remove it, doesn't matter.
Right.
It's all about just making it easy for you. You know, you want to have a 2-minute job, not an 8-hour job when it comes to managing the digital signage.
Right, exactly. And that's what we're trying to get away from with Ucview now that we got it, you know, now that we're a couple years into the business and, you know, instead of it taking us so long to put slides and content together and stuff.
Definitely. And then we have things like different modules. So like if I go to media and I go to microsite. Are you familiar with HTML at all?
Yeah.
So what we do with microsite, all it is an HTML module. So you can create in whatever editor you like to use. You know, as font, imaging, JavaScripting, queries, whatever. You bring it in as a zip file into our interface. You create a microsite. And then I'll give you some examples with some menus here, at least just to show you. You can bring that in. Looks beautiful. But
right.
As an end user, if I want to modify that, I don't know any HTML as a layman user, right?
Right.
But what I do know is that I can click and
change it. That's awesome.
Now in the back end, we're changing that HTML.
Right.
But the end user doesn't need to know anything. You know, whether we need to change a picture, and that's why I have this folder here. I'm just happen to choose the same picture. Let me choose something else. So we'll say that one there. And that's how easy it is for the end user to update it.
Right.
So you can create beautiful templates that'll go ahead and keep with brand guidelines, whatever you need to do. And the end user just goes in and does data entry. Now, if you want to create something that's more dynamic, maybe some KPIs, or depending on what customer it is, like I have here, this is the menu boards that we have at the San Antonio Spurs Stadium. And these are actually feeding from a system, a POS system called Appetize. So it's grabbing the name, it's grabbing the price, and it's grabbing the calories.
Huh. Okay.
So we're getting that from a JSON or XML file, right?
Right.
Now, we can also go the different route and say, let's turn this into a touchscreen. Now we have Angelo State University using our system for directory. So I know these are different projects, completely different than what you might be doing, but it kind of just opens up the possibility of what you can do with signage, right?
Yep.
So here for directory, we're actually an Excel file, a CSV. The end user just knows it as an Excel file. And they just update, the file with the name or what department they're in, what room. And then our system grabs that CSV, knows how to parse it, and done. So that's what you're able to do with microsite. And all of these are, these modules are included. We have tons of templates too. So, if an end user says, you know what, I don't want, I just want to see what you have. Yeah, anything from announcement boards to menus to calendars to whatever you can think of.
Right.
We have here, and it's all free of charge. All you do is click download, modify it, you're good to go.
Wow. Okay. That was my next question. Is like, do you have templates for that microsite? So.
Yeah, we do.
That's great.
And then, our app store. Like I mentioned, we have social media. We have news.
Yeah, that's a must nowadays.
Oh, absolutely. And even now, with everything going on in the world, information is always, big thing. We have our COVID-19 awareness app that's pulling from CDC. So all that information, all the CDC guidelines and announcements, wash your hands, stay at home, don't spread the virus, all that stuff.
Right.
It's gonna be giving you that messaging there. And because businesses in different areas have to have some type of message posted, that fills that criteria and you're done.
Right.
But you also have other great apps. You want to go ahead and do, we have manufacturing plants that use us, or companies like Mohawk Industries, if you've ever heard of them. They use us in their warehouses, so they have like a days without accident cameras.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Yep.
So we have the ability to tie into calendars too. So like Office 365, Google Calendar, we can tie into, so you can display those calendars on your screen.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to ask you about weather.
Yeah, we have single day, 5-day forecast, and we also have National Weather Service. So what this one does is you grab the RSS feed from whatever area you're in, and an alert from the National Weather Service. It's going to show up like this on your screen. Of course, on the top of it, only when there's an alert. If there's no alert, then it stays transparent.
Okay.
So to some areas, it's more prevalent, more important than to others. California, we don't really ever have anything.
Right.
Chicago or New York might have a freeze warning or a blizzard or what have you.
Yeah, out in California, by the time you heard the earthquake alert, you'd be already through it.
In Southern California and LA debuted this app that says that it would warn you, a few moments beforehand. We've had earthquakes within the past 12 months that are like 3.0 to 5.0 or above.
Right.
And we don't get the warning on the app. And everybody's like, hey, you guys have spent millions of dollars developing this, and every time that there's an earthquake, they say, oh, well, it didn't meet the threshold. Crap,
what threshold? What threshold are you trying to meet? Earthquake's an earthquake. Damn, the ground's shaking. Alert me.
Exactly. But we know National Weather Service is good.
Yep. Sorry, I had to say that.
No, trust me, I totally agree with that. But we have tons of different ways to have things going. I mean,
now does the weather widget, does that work on API, or does that just grab from a website, or do you just enter your information into it for your? How does it pull the information in?
So we have different sources, right? So like the Doppler ones are coming from like Wonderground or Maxbox. Like the rest of these could be pulling from Google, from Yahoo, depending on the service, right?
Oh, okay. All right, that's cool.
All you're gonna do is when you add that piece of content, you just put your zip code and you're good to go.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's a short overview. I mean, is there anything that you wanted to see that I didn't touch on, or anything you wanted to know the system is capable of that I didn't talk about yet?
No, the rest of the parts were probably, pretty much similar to what I've seen, as far as admin part of it and stuff like that, right? So.
Oh yeah, so I mean, being able to see what your players look like,
right?
What the status of them are, being able to preview them remotely. I don't know if you're able to do that with Zebo actually.
You can preview them, but you can't view it like this.
So you see here, I'm actually getting stats on what's going on with them.
Yeah, you don't get that much detail from the Ucview, but it is a free open source program. So, I'm not expecting the world from it.
Yeah, no, I get you. You definitely get what you pay for with them.
Right.
But from here you'll be able to restart. If I really wanted to, like I can click on location here, and you see this little monitor. If I click on it, it'll show me a preview of what's going on.
Nice.
So
okay.
It's a very, very well thought out system. Comes to users, like I mentioned, we create different departments, and inside of that, you have the ability to create whatever permission sets you want.
Right.
What layout you want to give them access to, what section of the screen, what location, and furthermore, what they have access to in the system.
Yeah. That's definitely very helpful, especially to a multi-location business, and that's where we're trying to go to, right? Is multi-locations. So that's why I'm starting this process too. Is like it also, we want it to be scalable and all that stuff, right? All that good stuff.
Yeah. So. And again, we want to make sure that it's easy for an end user. So we have all of these tools here on our left when we're an admin. But if we log in as this user here, then all they're able to do is add content that we give them access to. So we'll just log in here. And you see now everything is condensed.
Yeah, they only get to see what they can see.
Exactly.
That's nice.
If I wanna go to the campaign, there it is. It's just the one that I have access
to. Right.
And then if I have any questions at any time, we open up the chat box, somebody will be there. Or you just want to view a video tutorial based on where you are in the system. It's the videos that pertain to that portion of the interface.
Right.
So you're always going to have a helping hand no matter what. So that's pretty much what we have to offer.
Okay.
Any questions on anything? Or?
So you said that. Run the pricing by me one more time.
Yeah. If we go cloud-based, it's going to be $25 a month per device.
Okay.
And that's it. If we go server-based, $3,500 for the server software.
Okay.
And then $450 per device, but that's all perpetual license.
Okay. All right, yeah. So now what I have to do is I just have to run all this information by the people that make the decisions for the money and stuff.
Of course.
Right? And so give me until maybe next week to send an email back to you.
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll send you 2 proposals so you have them in writing.
Okay.
I'll send 8 licenses for the cloud, and then I'll send the 8 for the server based, and that way you can just choose from whichever quote works best for you.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
Awesome. Well, I definitely want to thank you for jumping on here. I don't want to take much more of your time. It was a pleasure speaking to you.
Yeah, I had a good time. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Jeff. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.